Now what we're going to do is talk about those commands, the three commands, the date command, the cal command, and actually the clear command. And I'm going to first start out by using the clear command. Remember, as you look up here on the screen has a lot of stuff on it, and as you continue to work with it, it would continue to go down, all the way down to the bottom of the screen, and the stuff up on top would scroll off the top. And in a lot of cases, we may have a lot of things on the screen, and what we're going to want to do is clear the screen up. And the command that we utilize to do that is, guess what? Clear. C-L-E-A-R. And when we press clear, you'll notice that the screen has cleared up, and up at the top, our prompt has moved up to the top. So you're probably going to find yourself doing this on a regular basis where you may have a lot of stuff on the screen, and you actually want to take and kind of clear it up and start fresh again. Now the first command we're going to be demonstrating is one called the date command, and in order to enter that, I'm just going to type in date, D-A-T-E, and press enter. And you'll notice what this command is doing is it's actually going to the internal clock in the computer, and it's finding out that it's Friday, October 18th, that again, remember this is military time or Greenwich Mean Time, that it's 1100 or 1135 and 46 minutes after its Pacific Daylight Time, and the year is 2002, and then again we have our prompt. One thing we want to mention is that whenever you enter a command, almost in all cases commands are entered in lowercase letters. In other words, not uppercase but lowercase. There are exceptions to this, and they have to do with system variables, and we'll discuss those when we get to them. But keep in mind that Linux is case sensitive, and you also want to take and enter all lower cases. Also keep in mind that commands, you always want to start the command all the way to the left, and that commands are always going to be separated after that. If we're going to be more specific about the command, we're going to have to put a space in there. So what we're going to do is go through and show a few other commands, and I'm going to type clear again because it's always kind of nice to keep the screen clear. And the first command we're going to talk about is the cal command, which stands for calendar. And when I type cal at the prompt, you're going to see that it's going to display the calendar for the month of October, which is the current month, 2002. Across the top we see that we have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then the days of the week. And I just want to make sure that you notice that it's actually showing the first day of the week, and that these numbers are going from 1 to 31 or 1 to 30, whatever it happens to be for how many days there are in the that particular month. Now, what I'm going to do is now show you how we can be more specific about the command. So if I type the command in and I just type CAL, but I want to find out, for example, the calendar for example, the 5th month of the year 2000, then notice how I have to put spaces in between the lines, and then I press enter, and now it's showing me down here that this is for May, which is the 5th month of the year, which is 2002, and now I have the calendar for that month. So the point here is that I put a command in, and then after that I can become much more specific about the command on what I would like to have it do. Now I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen again. And this time what I'm going to do is do a different type of a calendar. I'm going to do a calendar that is referred to as a Julian calendar. A Julian calendar actually shows, it takes the entire year, and it takes and it numbers the days of the year starting at 1 all the way to 365, or if we have a leap year, 1 to 366. So we can actually look up a specific month and find out what day of the year that particular date is. So for example, if I want to use the Julian calendar for the month of May, I would type in CAL, and then I'm going to put a dash. A dash means that I'm going to be modifying the command and being more specific. In this case, I'm telling it that I want it to display for me the Julian calendar, which is, guess what? J. And then after that, I can go ahead and be more specific and say that I want it for the 5th month, and I want it, which would be May, and for the year 2002. And now I press enter, and now instead of seeing under May the calendar being May 1st, it'll actually show me that the first day in the month of May for the year 2002 is the 121st day of the year. Now, a lot of places, especially in manufacturing and production, actually utilize the Julian calendar, and what they do is they'll put the day of the year down with another number, sometimes a production number, so that they'll be able to track parts being manufactured. Or other things like that. So there are uses for this particular calendar. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clear the calendar, or clear the screen again. And I want to show you that you can actually go backwards with the calendar or forwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up the date for calendar for the 7th month, which happens to be July, of the year 1776, and when we do this and press enter, you'll actually see that now we can see what the calendar was in the year 1776, and we can look up and see that July 4th of the year 1776 was on a Thursday. So we have a number of different things that we can, by adding options to this, we can go forward or we can go backwards. Now another thing I'd like to show you, and I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen again, is that I'm going to go and want to display the calendar for the entire year of, for example, the year 2002. So in order to do that, I'm just going to put in CAL, and I'm just going to put 2002. And when I do that and press enter, one of the things that you're going to notice is I see that I have a lot of calendars on here, a lot of months, and I'm going to go ahead and move the screen here a little bit so you can see that over here to the right. I'm going to move over so you can see this is the rest of the calendar. And one of the things I want to show you is that if I scroll up here a little bit, you'll see that the calendar actually had scrolled completely off the screen. And what we're going to be doing, this is where I put the command in, and it scrolled off the screen. So we're going to take for a minute and talk about how do we stop that from scrolling off the screen so that we can go one screen at a time. In order to do that, and actually I'm going to move back for a minute so I can get this bar and move all the way down to the bottom back to the prompt, which is something you may want to do on a basis if you're moving around. And I'm going to go ahead in here and I'm going to clear the screen again. But this time I'm going to utilize the command that I used before. And by the way, if I want to use a command that I used previously, and we'll talk about this in other lessons and demonstrations, all I have to use is the gray arrow key that's on my keyboard. And I can pull up previous commands, and I'm going to pull up the calendar command for the year 2000, but I'm going to add one more thing to this command to stop that screen from doing that, from moving or scrolling off. I'm going to press the space bar, and I'm going to add a command in there called the pipe command, and it looks like a vertical bar. Actually, on most keyboards, standard keyboards, it's the key that's right above your enter key on the right side of your main keyboard. And that's called the pipe command. And then I'm going to add the word more. And what this pipe command is really doing is saying, okay, I want you to go ahead and display the calendar for the year 2002, but what I'd like to have you do is take whatever you would normally show on the screen and pipe that or send that to another command called more. And the purpose of more is to stop the screen from scrolling. So when I do that, I'm going to go ahead and press enter. And you'll see now I see the calendar stop at the top. And now I can read the different months. Now what's kind of important about this, if I want to go down one month at a time or one line at a time, I use the enter key. And if I want to go down one screen at a time, I go ahead and press the space bar. So that's a way that I can control what's actually displayed on the screen. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen, but just to show you that that command is actually maintained in a history file, is I'm going to go ahead and use my up arrow key, and I'm going to go ahead and and I can pull up clear, which I did before, and press enter, and the screen is clear. Now at this point, we're going to take some time now, and we're going to talk about in a few minutes talk about the some other commands that we're going to be entering at the prompt, and that's going to be commands so that we can find out who's actually logged on to the system.